All right, the Reds talking Reds, a little bit different this morning. We're going to show you a little bit behind the scenes because we are chocker sending out t-shirts at the moment as everyone's getting ready for Paris. So loads of orders have come in. The game's on Saturday. We've got to get it out there. People have got to be able to wear it in time for the match. And some people are leaving on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday and all of that kind of thing. So we've got a special crew in at the moment helping out with all the orders. So come and have a look. All right, so here we go. This is where we'd normally be filming, but cast the thousands in this morning, helping out. Chain gang, or something like that. Getting them all out. Loads of stock there. The boys, the girl, some more boys. All being paid, by the way. We're not, you know. And have a sneak in here as well. This is where we record all the podcasts. So you don't get to see too much of that except on the free show on a Monday. But anyway, there you go, little sneak peek. Excitement building for the chance to win a 7th European Cup. And some great t-shirts on sale. Check them out. Right, we're going to do the proper talk of Reds now. Love the Reds. Okay, back upstairs, Mo Stewart with me now, and we're going to do the usual talking Reds. Silly season already, in loads of transfer rumours and all of that kind of stuff kicking around, because we know they've still got to fill the papers, they've still got to get people clicking on websites, they've still got to get traction on social media, and there's not that much to talk about now, or certainly not as much as when the season's still going. The season still is going, yes, of course, for us. That's why it's so busy downstairs. That's why people are planning trips to Paris. We are all massively looking forward to Saturday, and hope you are too, and however you're getting there, or whether you're watching at home or with mates or whatever, up the Reds, innit? But we'll be building up to that all week. It's all over the Anfield Wrap content, written, podcast, videos. Check out the app and all that, all the usual stuff will be there. Loads of them are setting off on the bus tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Tomorrow?
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm staying back in Liverpool. But yeah, there'll be content from Liverpool, there'll be content from Paris, and everything covered as usual by the Anfield Wrap. So didn't want to just talk about the European Cup final all the way through this one. Thought we'd talk about some of the bits and bobs that are out there. And the big one that seems to be the buzz in Liverpool world this morning is Mbappe confirming he had talks with Jurgen Klopp. Now, I don't like these types of stories, and like they all feel a bit like, you know, Everton were linked to Alan Shearer but didn't sign him, exactly, type of thing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, so what, in a way. But, you know, at least it shows, I guess, some kind of ambition. They did speak to him when he was at Monaco as well, which he confirms in this. He also says his ma loves the Reds, basically. And that's the reason that he spoke to Liverpool. He's very complimentary about Liverpool, about the stadium, the fans, the club, the manager, all of that kind of thing. But ultimately, he's 23 years old and he signed a 5-year contract with PSG. He's staying put, but who knows in the future?
Who knows in the future? It's weird because I like Mbappe. I love him as a person and as a player, and I'm not mad at him for staying at PSG. I know that a lot of it has been financially motivated, but I think we kind of forget the fact that he is actually French. So, and he's someone who grew up in the Parisian area. So, the idea of winning the Champions League with PSG is it's almost akin to the idea of Stevie winning the Champions League with Liverpool. So, we were happy that Stevie decided to stay. So, I can understand why Mbappe decided to stay. In terms of where we are in this conversation, yeah, it feels a little bit, I don't know, weird that we're trying to.
I mean, there was figures out this week, wasn't there, that, you know, Liverpool. I mean, you know, you always have, again, you probably take these with a pinch of salt because you're like, well, how do you actually know to this degree of accuracy? But there were figures out there. I can't remember who they were from, but it was basically it was saying that Liverpool's still only the 4th highest wage bill in the league. And with that in mind, and with in mind what state-funded clubs are able to pay, like we're surely never in.
No, and this is the thing. It's like you can have all of the ideas about a sporting project and think that looks appealing, but if you've got a sporting project that's kind of similarly appealing, or maybe even just a little bit less appealing, but they have a whole lot more money to go with it, then, you know, realism dictates you're going to go that way. I think for Mbappe, what he realises is that he's in no rush to go to Real Madrid. I mean, the other thing that's happened while this time that Real Madrid have been courting him, he's seen many stars go through that mangled cup, chewed up and spat out. I mean, Eden Hazard, is the one that springs to mind straight away, who went there with a lot of fanfare and now can't even get on the bench. And so you've got to be careful about exactly when you go. So when he goes to Real Madrid, he wants it to be a Real Madrid that's ready for him and ready to go out and win things. The thing I like the most about this whole story, though, is the fact that Real Madrid were absolutely keying up to announce his signing just before the Champions League final, because they knew that we were also interested in him, and it would be just that little extra psychological dag, and they couldn't do it. So nice one, Kylian, for that.
Yeah, and lucky. Mbappe has played 217 times for PSG, scored 171 goals and assisted 87. And for country, remember he's only 23, he has played 54 times for his country and scored 26 goals.
He's very good.
So I don't think we're breaking news here.
No, the other thing about the whole decision and his time is that we are all kind of viewing things through the usual prism of a player's career trajectory, as in you start off being a young player, getting a lot of hype, maybe you win 1 or 2 trophies, and you go on to the big club and you win the big things. Aside from the Champions League, he's basically won everything already. Like, he won the World Cup when he was a teenager, and he scored in the final. That pretty much puts the normal career trajectory completely out of the window. He can do what the hell he likes up to this point. And from a Liverpool perspective, I think that we wouldn't get a look at him at the earliest until he's like 28, 29, which is normally the point where FSG don't sign players anyway. Mm-hmm. So maybe if they're still there, then we probably won't get him. But it's a shame. He's a fantastic player. But the issue with us signing Mbappe always was he was never going to be added to the flaws we have. It was always going to be if someone leaves, he comes in. So from that perspective, I'm happy to let the idea go.
Yeah, as you say, he's won the World Cup. He's been Footballer of the Year in France. He's been 3 times top goal scorer in France. What else has he done? 5 times French champion. Once with Monaco, 4 times with PSG. He's won the French League Cup twice. He's won the French Cup 3 times. UEFA Nations League.
The other thing
hasn't won the Champions League, has he?
No, he hasn't. The other thing about this that I find it... Well, like, it would have been really interesting to see how he would have been reacted had he signed for Real Madrid and then we'd have beaten them. I'd have loved that as well. It'd be like, oh, see, maybe you did pick the wrong one. But the whole idea, there's also that Benzema, isn't it? Because, like, when Real Madrid were after him, they were looking for him as basically replacing Benzema. But, like, Benzema doesn't need replacing yet. You can go on for quite a while.
Doing all right,
he's doing all right, yeah. So maybe that's another part of it. It's like, he doesn't want to have to play with Benzema. I can do that for France. He'll replace him instead. That's why he's waiting.
Not live today, by the way. So we can't look at your comments and get involved and talk about Chris. It's sad, isn't it?
Oh, I'm absolutely heartbroken.
I mean, I am. Yeah, Mbappe said, I talked to Liverpool because it's the favourite club of my mum. My mum loves Liverpool. I don't know why, you'll have to ask her. It's a good club and we met them 5 years ago. When I was in Monaco, I met them. It's a big club.
Get her over for the parade.
Klopp has also said, of course, we were interested in Mbappe. We're not blind. Actually, nothing to say about that. It's between Kylian and Liverpool. It's all set. It's all fine. We, of course, like him. If we didn't like him, we'd have to question ourselves. But we are not, and we cannot be part of these battles. There must be other clubs involved, but that's fine. He's still a great player. His deal with PSG is reported to be worth £34 million a season. A figure, as this is Anfield says here, that would be entirely unrealistic for how Liverpool operates under Fenway Sports Group.
Well, the other thing that PSG are giving him, allegedly, is power. Power to be able to have a say in terms of who the manager is, who the other players that they sign are. And when you're considering that I think it's only 3 years that he's actually extended for, and they're willing to give him that kind of power, it's wild. It really is. So I don't know how that's going to work. Like, if you're in the dressing room and you know that the star striker has got the power to basically get you fired, how is that going to change the dynamic?
Mad,
it is.
It is a little bit mad, but that whole club's a bit mad. The structure's a bit mad. The management's a bit mad. Football's a bit mad. The other thing that would be a bit mad, like me link there, would be to let Sadio Mane go.
See, I was going to say yes.
IMO. I love Sadio, and like I know that earlier on in the season people were questioning his form a little bit. He's had little dips at other times in his Liverpool career, but all in all, he's a fighter, he's a goal scorer, he's still going, he's fit more often than not, all of those type of things, and he's also out of contract next summer. So obviously, the longer that situation goes on, the more you'll get links. Like talking about him as being like 42 million quid or whatever. Seems on the low side.
It seems very cheap. I know it's weird because I've been watching some of what the opposition fans have been saying, particularly Bayern Munich fans, because they've been the strongest link with him so far. And a lot of them were talking about his age and saying that if we're going to be spending money on a player, we should be looking at a younger player. But the fact of the matter is, if they're replacing Robert Lewandowski, then they're replacing a guy who's 2 years older than Sadio. So they're actually getting younger. But I think it would be a real mistake. I also think if we had only one of Salah and Mane, he would have been signed up ages ago. It'd have been done. I think it's the fact that there's two of them, and that's what makes me the most nervous, is because there's the two of them, and the more space it goes, the more room there is for comparisons. And the thing with the summer transfer window, and particularly when it comes to contracts and wages, everybody's waiting for someone else to set the benchmark. And if you allow other teams to set the benchmark, that sets you a problem. So, for example, this whole business with Mbappe, or if Real Madrid are trying to sign someone, whatever mark that they give that person, so whatever wages PSG are giving Mbappe now, Mo's going to be like, well, okay, I feel like I'm as good a player as him. I know that you're not going to be able to give me a £300 million signing on fee, but wages, like, I can't be having that much less than him. And that's the problem. And then Sadio will be going into the same talk saying, I can't be having that much less than Mo. So then you've got a problem where both the tides are rising with every new deal. It's the same thing that happened when Neymar signed for PSG years ago, and then everyone else has run up. We managed to make out on that one because we obviously got a lot of money for Coutinho that we possibly wouldn't have had otherwise. And we did use that money quite well.
Well, Sadio's figures still stack up, obviously. 23 goals for the season so far. He may well score 5 in France, for all we know. But 23 so far. He got 16 last season. Before that 22, season before that 26, season before that 20, and his first season 13. Double figures every year, 120 goals in total now for Liverpool. Absolutely loves playing Crystal Palace. He scored 10 against them. He's also scored 7 against Man City, 7 against Arsenal, 6 against Chelsea, and on the list goes. Appearance-wise as well, 50 so far this season. Bearing in mind he also went away and played in Africa in the middle of the season. 48 last season. Last season. 48 last season, 47 the season before that. 50, 44 and 29 in his first season. So like I say, more often than not, he is available. Yeah. And he's still going, and he's still going strong. He's played 50 games and still going.
It's ridiculous. And not only that, but if we got into a period, say we're 65 minutes in, it's still goalless in Champions League final, you're looking around, you're thinking, we really need a goal here. He's the most likely man to score. In those big moments, when we're looking around, we're like, who's going to be our hero today? More often than not, it's Sadio. And that's the kind of thing that you can't really quantify for in stats, and makes him so much more important, I think. And I really do think it would be a mistake if we believe that we can replace him at this point in his career.
Yeah, 268 games, 120 goals. I mean, my other thing with this sort of the Mo Sadio thing is that FSG have already shown that they don't actually mind running a contract down and saying, all right then, we'd rather keep you for that extra season. Because there's a thing in football now, isn't it? Like, if you get to this stage of your contract, you've got to give them another one. Yes. You can't let it go into the final year. Well, actually, you can. I mean, it means that they ultimately leave for nothing. And that's already happened with Ronaldo, already happened with Emre Can, going back way back when it obviously happened with McManaman. It kind of happened with Owen in that we got, what, 6 million quid and a shit lad. Sorry, mate, if you're watching. He's a nice fella, actually. Oh. Interviewed him once.
Oh, nice. I would be surprised.
Didn't mean to call you a shit fella, but, in the pantheon of Liverpool players.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he's watching, though.
He might do.
We'll see.
But what do you reckon? Do you reckon they'd let them go for free?
I think it's because, again, there's 3 of them in this situation.
Yeah. But he said on Bobby the other day, though, didn't he? He's not going. You know what I mean? That was very like, oh, hello.
Yeah. Like they've had a little conversation aside. I think the weirdest thing with Bobby is I think he will, the three of them, you could take it deep and still think that maybe they can come to some agreement. Because, I mean, in terms of what he's asking for, he's probably the lowest maintenance of them all. But with the other two, I think if they had had some kind of injury issues, then you could justify it and say that we've got the best of their years and we're letting them go with our thanks and our love, and that whoever's going to get them is going to be getting a worse version of what we had. I don't think you can say it with these two. And not only that, I think if you were saying that to those two, they'd be like, all right, we'll see.
The problem might be, mightn't it, that, you know, I would say if you were like hard-nosed businessman and all of that kind of stuff, and you know, you don't get involved in the emotions of it and you're just making a football decision, business decision, all that kind of thing. Do you think they might be saying to both of them, we'll give you 3 years, and they're going, we want 5?
Yeah.
And it's that kind of thing, actually, that's maybe the stumbling block rather than the doubt.
Well, this is the thing, because we're all trying to work out what it is with Mo, because he's kind of been he's been clear, but also kind of cryptic in as much as he said, it's not the money, there is something else, but he hasn't specified what that something else is. And years would be it. Because I don't think he can say that he's not valued by the club.
He's 30 next month, Mo.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Sadio, is Sadio already 30? I think he might be. He is. So there you go. And also we're being linked with the Darwin fella.
Yeah.
I like the look of him when we played him.
I do. I think he would work very well for us.
He's like a bit of a... Do you think it'd be right saying he's a bit of like a Haaland-like type of fella?
He has a lot of the same qualities. I think they both struggle in the same areas and they both excel in the same areas.
Both strong as fuck.
Yeah. I think with Nunes, I think he suits us in as much as he feels a little bit more like a selfless player.
It felt very audition when we played them, and he was like giving it beans.
And we have seen quite a few of those in the past that have worked out quite well. I think in like Minamino, Alisson, just a couple of recent examples. Yeah,
we used to always buy people who had to go game against us, not always with successful results.
Hiya Benteke.
Hiya Bogdan.
Oh God. Like that guy's got more room in your head than he ever deserves.
I mean, listen, I freeze me bollocks off it. I think it was Bolton Wanderers watching him play for us. Not a great day.
No, it was not.
Not a great day. I was wondering about Mbappe's ma. Do you reckon, is she single? I mean, if she's into Liverpool...
I mean, you're in enough trouble as it is, by the way.
Just JK, just kidding.
But in all seriousness, we should definitely invite her to a game. 100%, bring her down. Let her
come over, girl.
Yeah, come for the parade, seriously.
Yeah, let's go and have a bevy, and we'll have a chat about the Reds and Kylian and that. How are you feeling about Paris now?
Good. I mean, I am going.
Are you worried about this midfield, though?
Slightly. I am slightly worried. I mean, it depends, because it gives Real Madrid more options, because it means that if they were worried about playing their kind of tried and trusted three who are getting a bit older, if we're going to have to play some of our second choice midfielders, then that might give them...
Including our old fella.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which gives them a little more leeway. I'm less worried now, having seen Henderson do 120 minutes in the FA Cup final, because I was worried that he might not necessarily be able to play at a high level for the whole of that period, and he did. So if he's done it once, then I think he can do it again, so I'm all right with that. In my mind, I was so keyed up for the idea of Thiago being our key weapon to beat them. So if we are going to have to do it without him, it's just going to make it a lot harder.
I mean, there was the news, wasn't there, that it was a bruising of his Achilles rather than so there seems to be a chance that he could make it. The Fabinho thing, I think a lot of people were disheartened by the fact that he wasn't even on the bench at the weekend, and they were a bit like, well, I know Liverpool have said he'll make it, but if he was even close, why is he not on the bench? But maybe they're just being precautionary.
Well, I mean, I can see that argument, but the other thing is that Salah and Van Dijk are on the bench already. So the idea of saying that he was going to give all three of them, that means that you can't really vouch for what happens in the game. Maybe. And maybe he knew that it was going to have to be a point where it's like, we might need to put two forwards on here to score goals. So it was never really going to be happening in that way. The thing I'm concerned about with Fabinho, as we've seen, he takes a while to get up to speed when he comes back from injury. He had a few shonky games as he returned. So maybe don't do that, fam. But I think I would like to see him be on the bench. I think he might be one where he's like if it goes deep, then he's going to be key. But mate, if he can come on half an hour to go, 60, 65, get a good half an hour out of him, I'd be confident.
Okay, that has been Talking Reds then. A little bit of a different one today. Yeah, Kylian's man. There's a bell there, Queen.